Instead, many people would have actually leaned towards SPT altogether, I think.
Yeah, SPT or even X Team. Those were the top 3 people said at the start of this. Oh, this lag is getting pretty bad for me. But yeah, Tumi, he has played in big tournaments before. But he did go to a BlizzCon. He did go to a Worlds at some point, whereas all the rest of these players from all over the joint, they have the, like we said, China #1 on support.
Yeah, China #1. That is the big X factor here. Nobody has seen that guy, at least not that I know of.
Stats, so I assume he might have been a name change.
Also, like, his face doesn't ring a bell, though. I don't think I've seen him anywhere last season, so he must have gotten those stats somewhere. Maybe in the Open Division? Like, maybe he played on a team that qualified?
Indeed.
Yeah, it's cool. China #1. My favorite player so far already.
Before even seeing him play.
Yeah, I just can't wait to hype him in the middle of the game. China #1. We're the first blood. So
China #1. So, looks like we are having a look at CE here. Once again, almost exactly the same. They have 2 support players, but one of them is a flex, as you can see with Valor and Cassia there, KTY. Will likely be playing the flex role there. It just so happens that's probably going to be mostly Tassadar via the hoverings.
KTY in the middle here. We see him branded as a support player. I'm pretty sure he's going to be flexing altogether, though. He came over from HOTS Ladies, so he's the newest addition to CE. So even CE, the team that won HGC China last phase, are not, coming back here in their old strength, in their old roster. They also have to find synergy again, which is not always an easy process.
Yeah, they get rid of it. They get rid of Sanjin, replacing him with KTY. We will see how well that does work out for them.
Still rocking those beautiful ESTAR jerseys, by the way.
Shirts.
Oh, man, I would kill just to get one of those.
That is both concerning and understandable.
I'm glad you see it that way. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So, Praxis and 2 towers continue to be banned out, but not a Tomb of the Spider Queen first map. It's going to be our first excursion to the Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah, there we go. Battlefield of Eternity, once hailed to be, or once called, a Chinese battleground per se, because a lot of teams like to play on that. It just fits the Chinese playstyle so well, brawling in the middle of the battlefield, trying to get immortal control over and over again. Not really a whole lot of room for macro game on Battlefield of Eternity because it's a relatively small map, only 2 lanes to soak from, and traditionally it has always been a map where Chinese teams excel at very much.
Indeed. So the question, well, doesn't really help when both teams are Chinese, at least in this case. So
balance it out, kind of. Yep.
Balance it out. So we will see which team is able to take the advantage as we await for the first draft to begin. Completely unknown entity, this team of this new ESTAR team, and CE, their jerseys still look kind of dope. Would love to see them get some sponsors, although someone is just wearing a green t-shirt. Shame.
Oh, somebody has to pay $5 after the game because he doesn't fit the uniform. Can't do it. Can't just go on the stage like that, especially when you have those. By the way, once again, black shirts is, except for ESTAR, I don't think any other team has worn different colors other than black.
So far, yeah. We'll see if that continues as we head on, see if anyone else has had a uniform change. As we enter into the first pick and ban phase, as the stream continues to stutter, but hopefully it'll be fine by the time the game begins. Greymane is the first ban.
Yeah, Greymane ban indeed. That might actually bait the Genji. If ESTAR doesn't ban it right now, we might see Genji for the first time to arrive at the Chinese HGC. Are they willing to take that risk, or do they show as much respect to the Genji as the other teams have done in the past so far? Battlefield of Eternity, certainly a better map for Genji. A lot of, poking, skirmishing, and brawling around the Immortals, so be good for him. Could be pretty good. Also, possible bans, Anubarak, pretty dominant, even in China by now. Uther, always annoying to play against that guy, providing so much armor to his teammates. Hard to burst anyone down.
Yes, it is. So, he is being hovered. Very likely to be the ban here. There he goes, getting removed out.
Yeah. Now, are we going to see that insta-lock on Genji? No! They go for the Vala, and Zuyu, who was the ranged assassin player for CE. We told the audience before Tetra that Zuyu was probably one of the few players, if not the only player, who could rival Xingxi on that Vala role.
I would agree. Yeah, we did say that. That is how we said it earlier. The question is that going to remain true? And with Xing Si gone, is Zuyu going to step up and claim that best in the world?
Yeah. Now that Xing Si is no longer playing in the HGC, this might be his time to shine, to take that #1 spot as the best ranged assassin in the league. I'm just going to let the production know that everyone is expecting freezes right now.
Yeah, I've poked it as well.
So the audio is fine, by the way. The audio is fine. It's just the video signal that seems to have some issues.
Every now and again as well.
Yeah. So all the other language casters, the Russian ones, the French ones, they also immediately joined the Baby Rage train, and production's going to be like, yeah, we're working on it, guys. don't keep spamming. We know.
Cassia, first rotation coming in here from ESTAR.
Interesting.
Neat.
I mean, we saw it yesterday, I believe. In HGC Europe, it worked out pretty well. Cassia in general, like, if you see a Vala being locked in first, you can almost certainly expect a double support comp alongside with it. Now, that also takes away the mage spot, because you normally don't see a mage plus hypercarry plus double support. You're normally seeing double warrior, double support, hypercarry, right? So Cassia, whose greatest counters are mages, doesn't have to worry about them anymore, making her a formidable counter to the only true damage throwers, which is Vala.
Indeed. And the question is, so now we need to see CE, see if they can pick up a mage that would be efficient against the Anubrak. I would argue the best one being Li Ming, due to the ability to pop open that cocoon. Instead, double support with a Karazim this time.
I like that so much, because Tassadar did receive a buff. True, he's awesome with a Vala, whose life leech can be enhanced dramatically. But Karazim offers so much, especially on Battlefield of Eternity. He offers single target DPS. If he goes for Iron Fist, he offers a lot of additional kill potential. 7-sided can be really, really good if any warrior, basically, even a noob, goes in too deep. I just love it. I think it's a great addition.
As do I. It's cool. It is, once again, susceptible to the blinds, though, which gives me the concern. I wouldn't have mind if they were double supporting. I wouldn't have hated Lili.
No, not at all.
Because it don't count as Cassia as well.
Yeah. Why do ESTAR ban Arthas, though? Wouldn't that have been a good pick for themselves? I mean, if you slow Karazim's attack speed, you actually hinder his combat performance by a large margin.
Okay, so I get it, because they've just banned out Rhaegar as well. They are going with Karazim because they didn't want Rhaegar because that's too much healing, and they want to try and limit the support options. So ESTAR are going to try and supplement their own support by picking in the Tassadar, and we're going to see our first Alarak of the HGC China Phase 2. And
not only that, but we also see double support against double support Tetcher, something we haven't seen in quite some time.
Indeed. Either everyone's going to die really efficiently, or no one's going to die ever. Hooray. Yeah. But yeah, I still currently am leaning towards CE's draft, because empowering the Vala super good, Vala with the great immortal race, and the fact that Karazim can assist in the race as well, whereas Tassadar, not best in terms of burning down immortals. Neither is Alarak, to be fair. But Alarak, great at raiding an enemy immortal.
So, the way ESTAR drafts in this draft already, we can tell that they're more going to be, like, defending their own immortals rather than rushing and racing. Because so far, there's no way they can outrace a Karazim, a Vala. There's still stuff open, like a Li Ming, for example, that they could also add to CE's roster. So, I don't think they're going to try to race, but there we go. We see a one-tank roster after all in Li Ming being added to CE. That adds a huge threat potential now for Cassia.
Yes, it does, and assuming that Li Ming isn't the one in the cocoon, it could be pretty rough if Cassie's able to drop those good blinds. So now, as the stream continues to stutter, what is ESTAR going to finish up with? They still need the support. Who is left? Lili, Morales, Tyrande...
The new Malf.
The new Malfurion. Oh yeah, Malfurion's been left open. Do they value it that low that it takes this long to decide? Because that should just be the auto pick, right?
I would agree so.
It was there.
Yeah, Malfurion is definitely still an option. The silence is still great, especially against Li Ming and the double healer. Like, if you manage to silence both healers, or even just one, you take away so much protection potential from the enemy team. Now, Li Ming, it's It's an irony. It's the irony that Li Ming becomes a counter to a noob rank these days. She used to be countered by a noob for the longest part. Beetles intercepting, magic armor on his base kit. But now with the Disintegrate being so strong against Cocoon, you'd be like, yeah, it's basically turned side. And Li Ming is now one of the biggest counters to a noob's Cocoon, which is his greatest weapon in these teamfights these days.
Indeed. Long time taken to pick the Malfurion, though, and that concerns me. Is the ESTAR support maybe not too keen on it? Were they just trying to think of another option? Were they potentially considering the solo heal Lili with just the Tastar empowerment? I'm up to 14 seconds. Guess I'm refreshing for the 8th time.
Yeah. I'm not brave enough to refresh because only God knows how many attempts it would need to get on sync with you again. So.
Well, yeah, I'm just trying to sync with you. What are you up to now?
Let's double check here real quick. I'm currently sitting at 9 seconds.
I am at 8, so I expect it to bounce up to 9 soon.
Okay. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, despite some technical difficulties on the clean feed, once again, my apologies, or our apologies, where the production has been informed, and hopefully they're going to find a fix soon. But
and I'm on 12.
There we go. That doesn't take away any of the hype, though, that we are experiencing right now. ESTAR, for the very first time on camera with their new roster, duking it out here against CE, the former champions of Phase 1. Can they defend their title, or are they going to fall at the very first day of Phase 2? We're going to find out here. Battlefield of Eternity is the map teacher. Whose draft do you like a little bit more?
Looking at the drafts, I kind of like the whole support choke that we ended up with from CE, and their draft is still more classically Battlefield of Eternity. It's going to allow them to still get a bit more Immortal race. Whereas the draft from the new ESTAR roster is still a little bit interesting. It's still got the potential in most ways that they need.
Yeah.
The fact is, it's just less classically synergizing, I would say. So I would say that they can if they can execute it, the Alarak especially could be pretty devastating. But I give it over to CE just due to the Occam's razor.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think CE is slightly favored here. They looked so good at Phase 1. They don't have that many new roster members, I would say. I think they're still a little bit more stable. They've got a great draft, way more damage and poke, in my opinion. So let's see if they can make it work while we enjoy the hype video once again. Don't look at the trousers. Don't. Nope. Give that video editor a pay raise because, man, that is a piece of art right there. And these teams here in Battlefield of Eternity, they're going to try to make some art happen as well. ESTAR on the left-hand side in the blues. We have Toomey on the Anubarak. We have China #1 on Malfurion. We have Good on Cassia. Kid on his Tasser, and Ooze on the Alarak.
Whereas on the right-hand side, it is our current Chinese champions challenge everything with a Lufel on Ariel, Wind on Tyrael, KTY on Li Ming, Paradise on the Karazim, and Zuyu is on Valor.
Really interesting role swap here as well. Ooze, who used to be a support, if my memory doesn't cheat me, for X Team, is no longer playing support. He's now on the Alarak. Interesting.
Indeed. Although the Alarak skin he is going is very appropriate to his name, so I will still give him props for that. Going with the Tentacly Ooze Alarak.
Alright guys, once again, sorry for the freezes. We apologize. There's nothing we can do.
There is apparently a Chinese stream that might be better. I don't know if it is.
Okay, have you been checking the Skype group?
That is from the Skype group, yeah.
You can use it without sound.
Yeah, we might. Do we want to try that and switch now before anything happens?
Okay, let's try the other stream, guys.
Okay.
And we might have to sacrifice the sound, but strong video is definitely more important. So just bear with us here. Oh, it's one of those Chinese sites. Okay, okay. Let's see. How long does it take to load? Da, 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 da. There's a nice, cute shark animation at least here that makes waiting a little bit sweeter. Oh, whoa, okay, we got the Chinese casters. Okay. all right. No,
quick.
No, it's freezing too. No.
It's freezing too?
Nah. It's unwatchable. Also, there's tons of overlays. We don't want to be watching that. Sorry,
okay,
China.
Rewind.
Okay.
Back we go.
There we go. Back to the old stuff.
We'll deal with it. We'll do it live. Let's go.
Okay.
We're freezing. We're lagging. We're buffering.
And unfortunately, it shows the worst moment to have these kinds of issues as well. In the best series, couldn't have happened a little bit earlier, man. Okay, now.
Well, I'm trying to say like Ooze is dying, but I can't see. I don't know if he is.
Yeah, ESTAR definitely posturing up here around their own Immortal. That much we can see. And rightfully so, because I think their team comp is way better at defending than racing the Immortal, because they're not going to have that strong damage like Vala does, like Karzim does, like Li Ming does. So they're going to try to play it a little bit more passively, maybe catching 1 or 2 members by ECE off and snowball from there. So far, CE, man, they're relentless. They're not letting go of the aggression.
Yeah, they are trying to put some pressure onto the Immortal, poking it down however they can. Li Ming very much assisting with this. She's gone for the power hungry, getting that extra mana from the globes and the extra ability power. Not many globes on this map, but it does allow you, once the Immortal phase is over, to just basically get all your mana back in one go, thanks to the double globe in the center of the map. Assume you can take control there, Karazim having to retreat back as an Uber update put on some pressure. Yeah,
Paradise here in the Karazim getting pressured a little bit. You know what? I'm actually going to try to reload, and maybe that
doesn't help. It really doesn't help.
Okay. I mean,
I've done it so many times now.
Yeah, there is no issues on the audio, right? So it's a pure video problem that we're suffering from here.
Well, no, I'm buffering as well, so every now and again. So
yeah. So
it is just the stream.
Yeah.
In general.
We're just gonna pray to our Chinese overlords that they're gonna find a solution very soon.
Engaged by a noob. No idea what's happened. Looks like Ariel trying to turn around to get the healing with the energy, but Valor was still falling.
Yeah. Now, it's getting worse by the minute. It's a dire show right now.
This is not good. This is not castable.
I mean, we would like to give you a little bit more commentary, guys, but yeah. Now it's getting a little bit better. Wind, okay. Wind survives. Wind, by the way, one of the star players. Yeah, I think you're also a little bit behind right now because
I am on 14.
Yeah. I think I'm still sitting at 9 or 10. So, Wind, by the way, is a player that we haven't really talked about earlier. He's one of the most seasoned and experienced tank players in China. So, definitely keep an eye out for him. And if there's something that we were also really excited about at the mid-season brawl, it was China's Tyrael plays. SBT, ESTAR, they both had fantastic performances. X in particular. Those sanctifications ruined Dignitas' life early on in the group stage. Denying the Horrified by many every single time when he played that Gul'dan. It was just beautiful. My stream's looking good right now, by the way.
Mine has calmed down a little after a refresh.
Okay.
But this has happened before, earlier on. So, CE, even with all that Immortal poke earlier on, they still lose the first Immortal, but they are poking it down before it does too much. But it still goes through the front wall and kills off the Fountain. The couple hits, even onto the Force. That, actually, for a first Immortal, is pretty decent value.
Yeah. And I'm really happy that the video now seemed to have stabilized a little bit more. It's a lot more fluent than it was. So we actually get to cast a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like I'm watching full motion video as opposed to Microsoft DOS-based video game.
Are you good on the delay?
I refreshed them up to 8. Oh,
perfect.
Silence on the leading, trying to back up, teleports away. That was out of range for her abilities though, so she's having to move a bit further forward. Or no, bits back to the lag, but good, still able to escape.
Yeah.
We're back to still some freezes.
Yeah, I just let production know. I was about to type better now. Hold on, never mind. The moment we mentioned it, we seem to have jinxed it. But it's definitely more watchable, and it's at least castable.
Better.
Look at those beautiful surfboards. Once again, they're just fantastic, and I would love to buy them. I think we're actually going to be able to get them this week.
Oh, the juice!
Whoa, Paradise!
Away from the wall so that he can teleport back over without getting body blocked. Beautifully done.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think the new skins and content arrives tomorrow for NA and on Wednesday for Europe, doesn't it?
I have no idea.
Should be.
Not the foggiest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it should be arriving this week. So you can all flex your muscles with a Beach Tychus. You can be very, very cute with Beach Tracer as well.
What is that level 7 for Cassia? It's not the Bursting Light that we
let me see. No, it is Plate of the Whale, which actually gives her movement, health regen whenever she gets attacked and her trait goes off, and after blocking a certain amount of basic attacks, she gets 10% bonus HP. So it's a nice, cool, interesting tanky quest talent. You don't normally see it that often because people like to go for the D-explosion. However, in this game, with Vala being, and Karzim in the mix as well, with a lot of people that can attack very rapidly onto her, I think you should have a good time stacking it up. But still, I normally don't prefer taking it. I think it takes normally it takes too long to really complete it. And by the time you get there, it's not going to make that much of a difference anymore.
Yeah, that's not going to be so bad.
Yeah.
So we're currently seeing CE grabbing their own Shaman camp and then moving down to bot lane to attempt to deal with ESTARs.
Oh, Good in
they
trouble.
Find Good, who's about to gain a lot of stacks if he survives. Well, he doesn't. You don't lose stacks on death with this talent, so he is able to get back, builds up a lot of stacks, turns around, drops some damage, and with that Ring of the Leech, he was also able to regen a little bit of health.
Yeah, and you can see that right here. Wind on the Terriel, he's getting pressured and bugged by the enemy team's Tassadar, and Tassadar really has become such a menace, not only in terms of, you know, shielding people, giving them more life leech, which is already very annoying to begin with, but his laser beams are so strong right now. They have more damage than before. It's really, really easy to get his Templar's focus talent at level 1 completed, and he actually becomes a heavy hitter after completing it.
Indeed, could work out very nicely for them. Both teams for now trying to soak to their level 10s while also poking down the Immortals. CE's Immortal very much lower despite the good poke potential they have with Li Ming. And
oh, they blow up Zuyu. They blow up Zuyu indeed, and Vala is no more. And when the hyper carry falls in your double support comp, you might as well just retreat altogether, because there's no way you're going to have enough kill pressure to kill anyone in the enemy team. And ESTAR so far, exceptional focus, great initiation skills, and really, really good target prioritization as well, because you want to focus down, you want to pressure that assassin, because without Vala, Auriel is not going to regenerate enough energy. Li Ming is not reliable enough to fill those shoes. Oh, boy. This is getting worse by the minute, man. I'm so sorry about those video freezes.
We have heroics available though, Counter-Strike Cocoon, Archon, Pure Power, Twilight Dream, and Mystery. I would expect Lightning Ball, but I would love to see Valkyrie. There's Lightning Ball.
Yeah. Elaborate it a little bit more. Why would you have loved to see Valkyrie in this game? Because it's not, you know, the most common heroic ability choice.
It is not, but it can be exceptionally effective if you're able to grab... Oh, hang on, bit of a focus.
Oh, I think that is...
And I can't see.
Vala survives. That was very close, though. It looked like the Counter-Strike was good enough, and if Vala once again had fallen, that might have been a disaster for ZE. Yeah. But still, they end up losing Karzim. Turiel is also exploding here, and 3 people dead for ESTAR, excuse me, for CE. CR, they're on the march here. ESTAR, man, they're looking strong and good.
Yeah, this new ESTAR showing up, at least in this first game, putting on a really great show already. But to elaborate on why I would have liked to see
go ahead.
Valkyrie here, it can be timed to counteract the Aegis. So if you can drop it and aim it at that Aegis timed correctly, then you basically get a free hit. The biggest issue with Valkyrie is that it's quite difficult to land because it's a little bit slower and not that long range with a super long cooldown. The Lightning Ball is very much counterable via Sanctification and of course just splitting, which Karazim movement speed offers quite nicely. So I wouldn't have hated Valkyrie here, but Lightning Ball's still fine.
I mean, there's no Sanctification in the game anyway, so the more aggressive route was chosen with Judgment.
Yes.
So we tend to see a trend in Turiel players all across the globe basically going for more and more Judgment games, which was basically unheard of a couple of months ago when it was all Sanctification. Now, in the case of CE here in that game, I think it makes a lot of sense because there's no panic button, like no Divine Shield, no Divine Palm that can really save a target that is out of position. Nice
damage onto Vala there. Zuyu getting dropped a little bit lower as he continues to poke down on the defense. I have no idea if I'm even close to sync with you.
Yeah. Let's find out the hard way. We're just gonna keep on casting together, and one of us is gonna be ahead of the other one. Also, by the way, Judgment against Malth these days, keep in mind, they're playing the Malthael patch. The Malthael patch is basically already telling us that the reworked Malfurion is live. And the reworked Malfurion has no more cleanse. So you can't just cleanse out the Judgment and be done with it. You're gonna have to save that target in a different way.
That damage, Zuyu and KTY, just getting chunked there. But they are still alive, and that is the important bit. You can drop all the damage you like, as long as they survive.
And I really like the defensive call here by Karazin to go for that Divine Palm, because traditionally it's a little bit safer to save your like main damage carry. Because once again, like I said earlier, if Vala falls, this combo is crumbling. Oriel won't generate energy anymore, and there won't be enough damage to take anyone out, especially not against another double support team on the enemy side like ESTAR has. So going full safety measures, going for the Divine Palm can really save them a lot of trouble. Let's see though. 13 is not yet online. They're going to have to defend CE for now. They're not even soaking. They're not soaking in the top lane. They're trying to defend this 5 willingly, despite being a talent down.
Yeah, they're doing what they can. We see lots of engage from Anubrak here, trying to grab someone. He gets stunned up by the Immortal.
Wow!
Never mind. Vala gets destroyed there. The Cocoon gets popped, but not quick enough. Li Ming did not disintegrate on it. And it's a massacre by ESTAR.
3, 4, baby. Wow. CE is getting absolutely demolished by the new ESTAR roster. Nobody would have expected that, in my opinion. I mean, they're coming out swinging here. ESTAR punching left and right, and nobody except for Turiel made it out alive. It was a dire show, but it was a pretty one. We saw a couple of cool kills, and the most important one we saw with those Alrek reflexes. The target coming out of the Crystal Aegis and immediately following up with the burst, with the silence. There was no chance for Vala to survive.
So the new ESTAR coming up, showing up. And wow, indeed. Absolutely good, well played by them so far. As CE, very much on the back foot. They're going to be even on talents. They're going to hit the level 13 for this defense. The question is, what can they make from it?
And something I really love about ESTAR's team here in general is the fact that they picked Alrek. Alrek wasn't really a common sight in Korea during Phase 1, so they bring out a hero that the other teams might not have played against that much. They might not know how to play against it, and they played on the map where he makes a lot of sense as well. With those swaps, with those burst combos, chaining it up with the Immortal stuns as well. Good palm here, I think. Good might fall. He's very low. Yep.
I'd love to tell you. Good. Looks like he was killed off. Tyrael gets Aegis, so he may survive, but most certainly not. He gets taken out here, and everyone else trying to micro back for the defense. That's 2 kills to 1 right now, and that's all I can see.
Yeah. So that was not good for CE. Once again, it looked good at the beginning. They deleted Cassia right off the get-go, but sometimes, you know, in Heroes of the Storm, when you kill one target very quickly, you just blow all your cooldowns on that target, leaves you with nothing left, and then the 4 men from the enemy team can just retaliate and can swing things around. So be mindful with your resources. Don't use everything just to blow up one guy. It can backfire quite often, and more often than you would like. Wow, they're going for the core, are they? What?
The Immortal still got full health.
Yeah, okay.
Shield is down.
I like
it's in
it.
melee mode. Does decent damage. Can CE do anything about this? Wind moving in, trying to hold the line for the moment. Archon's dropped. The Immortal
Whoa,
still
GG.
They're focusing it down, and that is GG. ESTAR taking game number 1.
That has to feel so good for them. I can only imagine how nervous they must have felt. Coming in here for the very first day of Phase 2, under a new banner, that has such big footsteps to fill. Like, you're just not replacing anyone. You're replacing Xingxi and his boys, who represented China so well at the mid-season brawl. But so far, they've done a great job. And ESTAR, man, if they continue to play like that, I think they're going to take the series 2-0. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.